today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a snowflake spinner card using the Merry Snowflakes bundle, which can be found in the July to December 2021 mini catalog. This bundle comes with the Merry Snowflakes stamp set, as well as the Stitch Snowflakes dies. To do the outside of our card, you start with just your white panel, and then we're going to sponge ink on that. I used 3 colors on the bottom. The lightest is Pool Party. In the middle here is Coastal Cabana. And then the top I have Granny Apple Green. So let's start the sponging with Pool Party first, Coastal Cabana next, and Granny Apple Green on the very top. So continue to do this till it's all fully sponged, and you want your colors to be nice and vibrant, so you may have to apply a little bit more pressure. But you just keep going, work on your white until you're happy with then the colors that you've applied. I want to show you how we did the images on here. Can you see the snowflakes? You can see the debossed image or the cutout. You use that, you make that using the dies, and this is what the die looks like. And rather than cutting out an image, it actually creates this little impression on your cardstock. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have my cardstock that I've already sponged ink on, and we're going to put one there, and then this one was here, and then right there. Go ahead and oh, got to put this base plate in there first. Was not paying attention. And then of course I'm going to put the second base plate on top of that, and you're going to run it through. And then what you get is these really pretty designs in your cardstock. As we start to put the front of the card together, I want to show you the white snowflakes that I did. They're a bit thicker than just regular cardstock because what I do is I cut 2 pieces of the snowflake that I'm going to use, because I wanted each of the snowflakes to stand out a little bit more like a thick cardstock and not quite like chipboard. So basically all I'm doing is adding glue to one snowflake. Use your craft sheet here when you do this, guys, because look what I did. I made a puddle. The craft sheet's going to protect your surface. It'll be easier cleanup later. So go ahead and just glue 2 of the cutouts together and just let it dry. It doesn't take long to dry. This should be ready to use on your card in a couple of minutes. And we're going to put together our card now. We're going to add our sentiment and finish our stamping and add the snowflakes to the front of our card. So the greeting I did in black. My Memento Black has just been re-inked, so it's very juicy. I hope I don't put too much ink. So let's go ahead and stamp the greeting there. Looks fine, not too much ink. And then I did some swirls of white using the white craft ink. Oops, I did it on the top here. Add a little bit of a snowflake swirl and a little bit on the bottom. And I also did some here. And then we're going to add the snowflakes that we glued together. We are going to go ahead and add, I've got some glue on my craft sheet from prior project. And so go ahead and add glue to your snowflakes. And we're going to glue that so it's hanging off of our card. We're going to cut out the piece that hangs out. Notice as well that I did add a larger piece of white behind my colored layer. It just makes the colored layer pop out a little bit. And let's put this up here. And then we had one more in the bottom. You have to let this dry. Once it's dry, and you can cut off the pieces that overhang on the outside, and then we'll glue it to our base card. So I've cut off now the edges of the snowflakes that were hanging on the edge of the card here. And before we glue this onto the base of our card, I'm going to just embellish these snowflakes here with some basic rhinestone gems that I've colored in with the Stampin' blends. And I think I used Coastal Cabana, but any color you want that matches any of the colors on your front card or anything that coordinates. So go ahead and just pick your jewels, basic rhinestone jewels out, and then add them to the centers of your card, of your snowflakes on your card. And then after you've done that, you could add more jewels here in the centers of those snowflakes. And we're going to go ahead and add our glue to the back. And that's the front of our card, all done. And now we shall put the insides together. I'll show you how to add that little snowflake in the center of your circle cutout, and I'll show you how to make it spin. We're going to do the inside panel of the card first, and to do that you're using an 8.5 by 5 1/4 piece of white, and you're going to score it in the middle at 4 1/4, and then again you're going to score it at 2 1/2 from either end. So 2 1/2 from this side, and you're going to do the same on the other side, 2 1/2 from the end. And then you're going to go ahead and take your bone folder and just reinforce your score marks. And when you've done that, your piece of white should look like a letter M, like a capital M, like that. So we're going to decorate our inside panel now with snowflakes. Colors I'm going to use are Granny Apple Green, Bermuda Bay, and Coastal Cabana. Let's get those all ready to use. And the ink pads are ready there. The two stamps I'm going to be using are the largest snowflake and the middle-sized snowflake from the Merry Snowflakes stamp set. So we'll start with the Granny Apple Green. Just a random pattern, stamp wherever you want. And then the little snowflake, or the middle-sized snowflake, I'm going to stamp in two colors. I'm going to start with the lighter color first, which is the Coastal Cabana. That way when I switch off to the darker color, which is Bermuda Bay, I don't have to clean it. Just saves me a little bit of time. So let's do one here, do one here. And then the darker color now. And of course the middle right there is going to be where we're going to cut out a circle. Right, this is what the finished card looks like. We're going to cut out a circle on there, and I shall show you that in the next segment. Now we're going to cut out the snowflake that we're going to put in the middle of our circle. So we need our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is the little mini one. I've already cut one of the snowflakes. So I'm going to use the base plate 3 and 2 of the clear plate base plate 2. And go ahead and take your cardstock. I'm using Coastal Cabana here. And then add your die, your second clear plate. Go ahead and run it through your machine. And of course you get your snowflake. You're going to need 2 of them. I've got the one there. And just go ahead and pop it out and pop all the, use your take your pick tool to remove all the pieces that you don't need. And I will show you how to assemble the inside of your card. I'm going to show you now how to finish the front of our card. This is the panel that we stamped earlier. I went ahead and cut out a circle in the center using the circle layering dies. And as long as your opening for when you make this card is larger than what you're going to want to spin inside the card, you're good to go. So what I did was I added some glue dots on here, you can see. And I used the glue dots that come with the paper pumpkin kit. There's just so much that you get that there's so much left over. I've already had glue dots on the top here. So you're going to go ahead and add the glue dots on there. And then I use quilting thread because it's just, I like it better. It's very sturdy. And as you can tell, it's white. You can't see it, but I did color a little bit of it green. You can see here because this white layer is going to be against a Granny Apple Green cardstock. So I wanted the card or the thread to be as invisible as possible. So I colored it the same color as the background, and you want to lay it on your opening so that the part that you've colored green shows in the opening, and you're going to lay it so that it's right in the fold. And then you have your glue dots that are holding it down, but you want to reinforce that so it doesn't go anywhere. And you can just do that. I'm just going to add one more glue dot to the top here, and another one on the top there. So it's really nice and secure. And then on top of that, I'm going to add even more Scotch tape so that it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. So just any Scotch tape that you have on hand will work. Make sure that it's, and nothing's gonna show from the back here, so you don't care how messy you are in the back. This is not gonna show on the card. So that's done. We've got our thread all nice and secure. This is the snowflake that's gonna go in the middle. I put some glue dots on there already. You wanna make sure that there's enough adhesive on that snowflake so that it stays nice and secure in the middle of your opening. I'm just gonna try and move all these glue dots backing off. You can use any glue that you have. Liquid glue works as well. I just wanted to see how this glue dots work. It's a bit more work obviously since there's so much of the little backing you gotta take out. Okay, so let's go ahead and you want to put this underneath your thread. And then take your other top half of your snowflake. Make sure it's all aligned. Press down, and that's what's going to spin. We are now going to go ahead and glue that to our card. Final assembly of the card, of course, is going to get glued to the center like that. So the way I like to do that is I will just close it. I'll add glue to one side. Again, any glue that you have, as long as it's you trust it to hold your pieces together. And I like the liquid glue, it's very strong. So I just put the glue on one side, and then I layer it onto the card where I want it to go. Make sure that, yeah. So like that. And this we're going to glue over here. So we want to make sure that we glue it right there. And then the snowflake that spins in the inside, before you shut it, all you need to do is just give it a little bit of spin. Make sure that you give it at least 10 to 12. So that when you put it on your envelope, of course it's shut like that. And then when you're I made 2 more cards using the stamp set. Again, this is the stamp set Merry Snowflakes, and it comes with the accompanying die set. I put my dies in on magnet backing, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 snowflakes, and these here are the dies that create the cutouts that look like this. So this is the bundle. You'd get this in the bundle, and you just saw the spinner card that we just did. I did a couple more. I did this card here, which is Pool Party cardstock. Stamps, you can see the snowflakes on there, and you can see the swirl that I did in white again. Cut out the snowflakes. This is white cardstock that I tore to simulate like snowbanks. And this little glittery edge here that uses the wink of Stella, which adds just a little bit of pizzazz and glitz to your card. And again, the basic rhinestones colored in Pool Party in the center of each of the snowflakes. This card here I did with cherry cobbler and crumb cake cardstock, and a little bit of twine here. 3 little basic pearls as well as in the center of the snowflakes. And then this top layer here is layered onto a piece of cherry cobbler, and I kind of distressed the edge. Can you see? Just kind of distressed it with my fingers and tore it up a little bit. Add that little bit of a vintage look. So there you're. Here again are the 3 cards that we just did. Spinner card. This is the cherry cobbler and crumb cake card. And then of course this one here is Pool Party, using the wink of Stella to create the snowbanks. There you have all 3 cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. The link to subscribe is the red rectangle in the bottom right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you again soon.